Friday actually. On Friday, I actually did the exact same thing that I did on today, and I got to get to the bottom of what I'm seeing. I back test a lot, and I do a lot of looking at charts, etc., just to kind of study moves and get used. I'm only trading the SPY because I want to learn the SPY, and I do trade other things. I do swing trade other things, but my main stock that I trade options on is the SPY. So I went going back here to the first. As you can see, I did something very much like what I did today. And I gotta get this back here. So on Friday, I I was looking for an entry, and I do enter on the break of the 9:30 candle for the pre-market. And so, as you can see, it was a strong. There was no pullback on that very first candle. It was strictly straight put action. Um, so if you bought puts, you did really well right about here. I mean, that was a good little move, $500 move, give or take, of just one contract. But I just hesitated, and then I still watched it go down. And by the time I could have gotten back in, maybe on this pullback here, I still watched it go into oblivion on the 15 minute. I was just watching the 15 minutes. So I've kind of gone more so towards trying to see what the candle is initially doing when it first opens at 9:30. But my entry would have been somewhere around once it broke down and I saw that it was definitely breaking down. I should have gotten in already here. And if I was wrong, my stop loss could have been just above the orb, literally right here above the orb, and went on down, and as you see, went into profit. So I did the exact same thing today. I'm not. It was a slight pullback today. Before that candle continued on into um, calls, but I was waiting for a fake out. I don't know why I make things up in my mind and say, hey, this is what could happen. Maybe it's something I read because I do a lot of research. I don't know. But this was another entry, a similar setup from what I did Friday, and it came off a little bit of a pullback, which normally my entry would have been right here. Well, it would have ended up being slight here, but my stop loss would have been at the break of the bottom of that. And I did not take the entry again. So I think what's happening is, and it wasn't this difficult before the other days that I did it. I was just, it was just, I think I'm overthinking it. And sometimes what I do is I do research and I do back test a lot. And I think once I test the method, it's very important when you're testing the method to stick to a long enough test with proper risk management, but a long enough test period to see if the strategy you're using is going to be feasible for you. Now, no strategy is 100%, but based on my back testing methods, the the action takes place 50% of the time or a little bit less. And I even found sometimes if you're really properly using your risk management, 65% of the time the action takes place somewhere around the high and low, whether it's the wicks that you protect on the either side of the first 9:30 candle. And so just me doing what I know, like here, I would have just entered here and then tried to secure something up here at the high, which the high would have got kicked out. But based on my strategy, I would have gotten that back, and the stop loss that I use, which my stop loss is give or take $30 to $40 per side per trade. So of course, if you're wrong on both sides, you're losing 60 to 80. If you're right on just one side, you're not losing anything because you're going up in the profit and you're gonna profit back what you lost on either side of the loss. So I did get in the trade today though. I didn't hesitate too long like I did on Friday. I got into this trade and I got in on this pullback right here when I was pretty sure, no, this is gonna be a good little trend up. So I got in here and I wrote it up, and I actually had another pullback here, and I added another position. Well, based on my positions that I added, of course, I'm following on the 1 minute. I follow the 20 EMA in profit. So I did end up getting wicked out, but I got wicked out in profit, and less what I lost on the very first entry going the wrong direction. I still profited $22, but the hesitation has hurt me. I don't know if me researching or back testing as much as I do, I think I'm overthinking it. When I start a trade, I just need to get it, do what I said I was gonna do based on my rules. If my rules don't hit that day, it's just that day. But I back tested this back maybe over a year, and it's pretty strong that that action is in that first 15-minute candle, high or low. And a lot of times it is the high or low of the market for that particular day, which based on what we're seeing here so far, let's say if it does reverse somewhere up here a little bit later, hey, I'm already out of the trade up here because once it does that break of structure, I'm out of there. I don't stay in too much. And my rule of thumb was looking to get out somewhere around the 10 30 break or 10, because moves seem like based on what I've been seeing, they happen about 30 minutes or so after it's been moving for a little bit. And so as you see here, there's no move aggressively down or up, but there's consolidation. So that in itself is something that it's doing after that 30-minute break, as you see here. And that's basically what I've been finding on average in my back testing. So we're done for today. I try not to overtrade. I've been guilty of it, but being that I'm doing a small account to strengthen um, my how can I say, I'm trying to strengthen my um, discipline. So I am doing the small account, and we're gonna see what happens tomorrow. We live to trade another day. Monday was in the green, so that's a plus. But I'm gonna kind of look to get more confidence on, what I'm doing. And also these perforated lines you see, this is a orb. I do set up my orb based on the 9:15, the basically the last candle of the pre-market. I set my orb to the last 15 minutes of the pre-market, and based on what I've been doing, it's been consistent with breaking out of there. I mean, very consistent. As you see here, broke it did a little retest of that 9. And that's another thing I've noticed. If that 9 and that 20 is above or near that orb, it's going to retest either or. And that still was an entry point right there. So still in learning phase. Alrighty.